Hello, good morning, and welcome to Morning Brew on Politics Social. Sorry, I was a little bit late getting started there, but we're here now, and that's what matters, eh? My name is Graham Hughes. You're watching Morning Brew on Politics Social. It is Monday, the 6th of April 2026. Well done on making it this far. So in the chat, we have Lost Missionary, we have Martin Harrow, we have L Butterfly Effect, we have Liam Devlin, we also have Andrew Ray in there as well, and Sophia Lance. Morning, one and all. Is Graham back from visiting the moon? Recently renamed Trupton. I don't know. Trumpton. Sorry. Would it like to go to the moon? I don't know. It'd be that fantastic feeling of going around the back of the moon and seeing the far side of the moon. Wouldn't that be wonderful? But there's a part of me just goes, you might die. So yeah, good old cowardice keeping me alive there. Then again, I've done some mad shit in my time. Most people probably look at it and go, don't do that, Graham, you might die. But then, I didn't. So survivor's guilt and survivor's bias. Hi, Gareth, says Martin. Gareth says, morning all, morning Graham. Morning, Gareth. How you doing, Gareth T? Good to have you on board this morning. Sarah's in there saying, hi, Graham. And today we're going to talk about America losing. Oh, my God. America's losing. It's proper losing, This isn't about just losing a war. It's losing all control, credibility, stability, its own identity. Wow. It's... For a country that kind of frames itself as like this country of winners, we're all winners. We're the winners over here. We're the winners of the life lottery. And I think they're just about to get a bit of a rude awakening. Because you talk to Americans, and I swear to God, this isn't made up. This isn't something that you just, people just assume about Americans, like they all love burgers or something. Or they're all a bit obnoxious and loud and rude. Nothing wrong with being obnoxious, loud and rude. I am. But it's this thing that they honestly believe they're number one, and they're not anymore. They're not. On so many metrics, they're not. Their life expectancy is nowhere near what it is in Europe. That's pretty crushing. Children literacy isn't as high as it is. In developing nations, they've got higher literacy levels than America. When you look at the metrics about murder, they have 5 times the murders of England and Wales. 5 times? Not proportionately. Proportionately. If you want to go unproportionately, it's 25 times, but that's a bit unfair. But proportionately, they have about 5 murders, 5 homicides per 100,000 people. We have 1. Wow. But you talk to Americans and they honestly think they're the best. And they also think that everyone in the world is obsessed with America, which we're not. Most people don't give a shit about America. But also, unless America starts bombing them or something, but also this idea that like everyone in the world just wants to go to America because it's the greatest place, and everyone just, everyone everywhere else in the world is just living their life until they get enough money together so they can move to America where everything is awesome. And I think America's a fucking hellhole. I've traveled all over America. I've been to about 27 states, and they all look the same to me. You turn up on the coach, because, there's no trains. You turn up on the coach, on the Greyhound, and you're driving along on the freeways, and they all look the same. You go into the towns, and it's just strip mall, strip mall, strip mall. And then you get into the CBD, the Central Business District, and it's just some skyscrapers, some, like, really bland, like, just really insipid skyscrapers. It's a building. Nothing inspirational. Nothing to stop and make you go, wow. Right? You think about traveling around another country, like traveling around France. You go to every single village and there'll be a beautiful building in every single village. Every single one. Every town will have every city will have a multitude of beautiful buildings. Same in the UK, to be fair, most of the time. You'll go to a little pub in the Peak District or the Lake District, or or even just in the North Pennines, and they'll be somewhere really nice. You could go around the corner and there'll be a little pub and a little that's 700 years old and an old neo Gothic church, and you're like, oh, this is lovely. You don't have any of that in America. You go into small towns in America, it's a strip mall. It's a strip mall and a motel. Everything's a box. Everything's a fucking box. You go into those Edward Scissorhands-esque suburban areas, fucking the suburbs. They're just they're just horrible. They're just like little cookie cutter houses spread out, everywhere. And they all look awful. There's they've had these housing associations over there, whatever they're called, where they make everyone have the same colour front door, and they make everyone have the same picket fence that's the same height, and all the grass has to be a certain length, and all that. And you're just like, you gotta be kidding me. What is with these people? Do they want to be on like a spaceship, and take a pill and just sit up there and just admire everything being the fucking same? America's the same in all directions. You go to LA, there's no beauty in LA. It's all fucking horrible. What's the emblem of Warner Bros? A fucking water tower. A water tower, can you believe that? It's part of the plumbing. You might as well have a fucking toilet. There you go. Here's the thing that sets our studio out from all the others. Plumbing. You're like, fucking really? That's it? That's your your imagination running riot. And when they did have nice buildings like Penn Station in New York City, they knocked it down. They just knocked it down and built fucking Madison Square Garden. And I know we can't really talk much because obviously what we did to Houston was disgusting, but next door in St. Pancras, that's a fucking an incredible station. King's Cross is quite a nice station as well, but then you go to, Liverpool. Oh, Liverpool's Lime Street station is fucking incredible. It's incredible. The less said about Manchester's two stations, Piccadilly and Victoria, and Leeds Station. Obviously, we won't talk about that, but there's a lot of beauty out there in the UK. In America, you'd have to drive for a fucking day to find something that was nice to look at, and it would invariably be a bit of nature. But they can't even fucking leave that either. Have you ever been to a national park in America? They can never just leave something for people to discover. It's all got to be boxed in, and we've got to have you can't just have the Grand Canyon and go, oh, that's amazing. They've got to build like a glass box above it so you can have an adventure, standing on the glass box looking down, and you're like, fucking hell. Compare that with, Catajuta or Uluru or Kings Canyon is a good example. Kings Canyon in Australia or Hanging Rock. It's just there. It's just there. Go and explore it. You don't have to fucking put down a fucking wooden trail. So they sort of even the sort of the nice bits they manage to fuck them up somehow and make them just unpleasant. So yeah, I mean, America thinking that it's number one is, I don't know. It's got a long way to go. It's got a long way to go. But when we talk about them losing, America being lost, it works on multiple levels. Military failure, economic fallout, check. Diplomatic isolation, check. Moral collapse, check. America hasn't just made mistakes; it's actively undermining its global position. And the Iran war is the catalyst. It's not the cause. There's a lot of things that come into it. The chaos we're seeing didn't come out of nowhere. It's the result of long-term erosions of institutions, reckless leadership, foreign policy driven by ego rather than strategy, and people who genuinely don't give a flying fuck about their own country. But it's always the flag shaggers, isn't it? It's always the flag shaggers who give the least of a fuck about their own country. They don't care that the EU is bringing in like $3 billion, £3 billion a week. Our membership of it. They don't care about that. And when they're putting up their fucking filthy rags, God, there's so many now. I got back and from Panama, and I kind of forgot about the fucking flags. I was driving through fucking Durham yesterday, and see these dirty rags. They've all been up there for fucking 6 months. They're all dirty. They're all these dirty rags hanging off, dirty dishcloths, all tattered and torn and hanging off all of the. And it's like, what the fuck has happened here? And all it does is bring down the house prices by 10% on average. 10% in any area that's been flagged. Anyone with the misfortune of trying to sell their own house. These flag fuckers have stolen, tens of thousands of pounds off those people by putting up their fucking filthy rags up halfway up a fucking lamppost, most of which are upside down. Not the lamppost, the fucking flags. It's always the people, isn't it? Who are so, I love my country, make the fucking country shit. Make people not want to come here. Make people not want to invest. Don't want to invest in there. It's full of dickheads. Like America. I mean, I wouldn't say it's quite hit rock bottom. Fuck me, it's fallen fast. And the danger is not just what's already happened. It's what happens next. There's no guardrails. There's nothing to stop. Because I was talking a bit, was it yesterday or maybe the weekend? I don't know. I was talking about how the American system is just a shit system. Just the whole political system in America. And that the president has too much power. But here's another thing about America, right? Liz Truss, right? She fucked the pooch, right? Within, 47 days she was out. If this had been America, she would still be in power. She would still be in power. Can you believe that? She would, because it would be a 4-year term, wouldn't it? No matter how mad, insane, cruel, sadistic, pedophilic, the misogynistic, how much of a sexual predator the president is, you can't get rid of them. They're there for 4 years, that's it. No matter what they do. And if you do get rid of them, who takes over? The fucking vice president. And what's the vice president's first? Bit of action once they become king of America, and they can just grant pardons. Who are they going to grant a pardon to? And this has happened before. The fucking outgoing president. The outgoing president, like what Gerald Ford did with Richard Nixon. Remember that? First thing he did, pardon Nixon of all his fucking crimes. What a stupid fucking system. What an absolutely thicko, imbecilic, it should be in a special home stupidity of a system. It's just pure idiocracy got run riot. And that's America right now. It is an idiocracy because it's a stupid fucking system where you can have a criminal as the commander-in-chief of the army. You can't get rid of him. 4 years. That's it. You're in your place. Imagine giving someone a job and they were absolutely shite at it. Imagine putting someone as the CEO of Coca-Cola, and the first thing they do is, listen, we got that secret recipe. Yeah, the one that's made us all this money over the years. Yeah, I think you should wank into it. Sorry, what? I think we should all just wank into the fucking secret recipe, and then everyone will have wank in their Coke. Yeah? How about that? And everyone in the board is like, what the fuck, mate? You're off your fucking rocker. And they're like, yeah, but I'm the CEO now, and I have this position for 4 years, no matter what. So you better start getting wanking into the secret formula of Coca-Cola. I mean, what a mad system. I mean, what the fuck? Just what the fuck is this system in America? Where it's no, we can't possibly get rid of this lunatic. So maybe you could argue that it lost 250 years ago when it put in place the stupidest system ever. But what do you expect from a bunch of fucking half-literate slave traders? Writing a scrap of paper that fucking, fit for wiping your arse on, but not fit for running a democracy in the 21st century. And they didn't have toilet paper then, did they? I went to Uxkhta last week's, and the amount of flags being flown is ridiculous. What I want to know is why the local council are not taking legal action against the raise the colours for flag tipping. Yeah, I'd like to know that, Will, because it's a lot of we fuckers now in the local council. There's got to be even more after this. This time next month, there's got to be even more. Yeah, why does the EU not sue? Here's a question for you, right? You talk about Coca-Cola, right? Imagine if every day for 30 years, the cover of tabloids of all these different colours, right? All these different mastheads. You've got the Mail, the Express, the Scum, the Times, the Telegraph. You've got all these different newspapers, and every day they just printed lies about Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola gives you cancer, Coca-Cola gives you AIDS, gives you bad AIDS, not even good AIDS, gives you bad AIDS. Coca-Cola makes you makes your genitals shrivel up. Coca-Cola makes you go blind. Coca-Cola does this. Coca-Cola every single day for 30 years. There'll be a story on the front cover of these newspapers. It's like, do you think Coca-Cola wouldn't sue them? Or if it was Apple, you know, Apple products irradiate your balls or something. Do you think Apple wouldn't sue? Do you really think that? Do you think these massive fucking companies would go, oh, that's all right, you know, they've printed some lies about us? You know, these companies take newspapers to court when they tell the truth. You know, like oil companies taking them to court for saying that, you know, carbon locked in the ground that you'd put on the surface of the earth and then burn it. The carbon's going to go and create CO2 in the atmosphere, isn't it? And that's going to create a greenhouse effect. Especially if you're burning trillions and trillions and trillions of tons of the fucking stuff over the course of 200 years. And they take them to the court. They take them to court. How dare you say that? How dare you? McDonald's took 2 people to court for saying that they were cutting down the fucking rainforest to grow soya for the cattle that they were putting in their burgers. They took them to court, and they were telling the truth. And yet, the EU, like a bunch of twats, dickhead twats, sit there going, no, this is fine. I mean, you know, it's all part of the democratic process, telling your fucking unhinged readers, 400,000 unhinged fucking dickheads who read these fucking rags. You know, it's all right to tell them lies every day. I'm sure nothing bad will come of it. Brexit has cost the EU billions of euros, possibly trillions. Why don't the EU sue? Fucking explain it to me. Will someone explain it to me? I don't know. And I know there's been some, on another thing, I know there's been some protests against what's happening in Iran. Right, some, but not many. There's a protest on February 28th, right? There was one on March the 12th, I think. Let me get this straight. This is Israel, yeah, kicking off a fucking war against Muslim people, yeah, and killing them, murdering over 170 school children, after dropping a bomb on them and their mates America, right? If this was Gaza, I'm sure there'll be protests, and I'm not trying to about this, because I think that both conflicts are horrific, but thousands of people have died in Iran now, right? Why aren't we seeing the same level of protest that we do over Gaza? I mean, it's the US and Israel killing Muslims. It's just a different geographical location of the murder, of the slaughter, of the fear, of the suffering. The suffering's in a slightly different location. But is everyone protested out? I don't know. I want to put that question out there. What? Why? I mean, you don't even have to change anything. You can still go out. Just change your flags, maybe. I don't know. No, but Iran's got a terrible regime. Yes, so's fucking Gaza. It's under the fucking Hamas twats. Anyway, American flag shaggers always invoke the Constitution when talking about firearms, but if anything has been illustrated by the Trumps to fire, it's that the Constitution isn't worth a wank. It isn't. It isn't worth a wank. I do know one guy who's been sent a 3,000 bill for the removal of flags in Scarborough. That's good. You say Coca-Cola, but my mind always jumps to calling it Dasani because it gives me a giggle. Dasani? Another moderator handled this. Sorry, come on, Diz. They're only having a laugh. Don't come on, Diz. If Diz want people to come on it. Right, timer here. We're gonna do. This is for Diz. All right. So forget about what we were talking about before, Diz. Now we're gonna get some confetti. Get some confetti. Get some fucking confetti. There you go. And if we get 5 super chats within the next 2 hours, I will sing "Come On, Eileen." No, I'm not. I won't. I'm joking. So America's lost control. Like America. Let's talk about the war for a sec, right? I know we're going around in circles a little bit here, but the Strait of Hormuz is still effectively shut, and it's one of the most strategic vital waterways strategically vital waterways on Earth. A fifth of global oil flows through it, and the US cannot force it open without massive escalation. And Iran is dictating the terms of the conflict. Instead of being deterred, Iran is leveraging geography and asymmetric warfare to hold the global economy hostage. That's a strategic failure of the highest order. And US military dominance isn't delivering results. Despite overwhelming firepower, Iran is still operational, still striking back, still making hilarious memes and videos with fucking Lego, and still controlling key leverage points. The longer the war drags on, the worse it's going to get. And wars like this don't end cleanly. They bleed resources, they bleed credibility, they bleed political capital. But it's not just the fact that they lost the fucking fighting war. They're also losing the economic war. Energy markets are in chaos. Oil prices have gone over $4 a barrel. Sorry, $4 a barrel. Fucking hell, that'd be cheap. $4 a gallon in America. And, they love their cars in America. I mean, you've got to understand how much Americans love their cars. They will demolish entire thriving neighborhoods to allow cars to get to their traffic jam a little bit faster. They will expand freeways so that there's eventually 1,742 lanes spread out across an entire state. I mean, half of the state is just basically roads, because they absolutely love their cars. They fuck their cars. This is why they don't like electric cars, electric vehicles. They don't like them in America. They're kind of frowned upon because you can't stick your willy in the exhaust pipe. Do you know what I mean? There's no way of fucking an electric car, I don't think. So, what are you going to do? But America is just a nation of car fuckers. They really do love their car more than they love their firstborn. And in every other country in the world, the amount of people being killed on the road, the amount of pedestrians being killed on the pavement, or the sidewalks, as they call them over there, is going down, except in America. It's the only country in the world where it's going up and up and up. And it's because they keep getting these bigger and bigger and bigger fucking cars, these monster trucks that they like to drive around in. That, like, the bonnet, or the hood, as they call it, comes up to like the ceiling in this room, and they can't see anything. They certainly can't see a child less than 9 years old in front of them, right in front of them. They just mow them down because they can't see them. But it's very important that they have a massive fucking truck and drive around pointlessly, creating pollution. Then they actually tune their cars and their vehicles, these trucks. They tune them to literally create more dirt, to make more dirty air come out, because they want to pollute. They set them up to pollute on purpose. They're crazy. They're fucking crazy. But now it's costing them $4 for, which is still dead cheap. Don't forget, there's about 4 liters, isn't there, in a gallon? Hang on, liters in a US gallon, because there's lots of different gallons. Yeah, 3.7. So basically, it's $1 a gallon, a dollar a liter, and they're freaking out. Now, $1 a liter is about 75p, 75 pence per liter. That's what they're paying in America, and they're like, "Oh my god, I'm dying! I can't drive around in circles in my fucking shit wagon." And you're like, oh, okay. But yeah, they're freaking out. It's $4 a gallon, $4 a gallon. A whole 75p a litre. They're freaking out. Francis Winrell for the watch. Thank you for the £2 super chat. Martin Harrow, the £2 super chat with just the message 2.00. Thank you. And Veg Pie. And how you doing? Welcome back, Graham. Sorry I kept missing Ireland Brew. That's it. Thank you very much for the £5 super chat, Veg Pie. That's very kind of you. And yeah, I'm glad you're back. I'm glad I'm back. I'm sorry that you kept missing it, but that's kind of a little bit my fault, wasn't it? Let's face it, because I was the one who went away, wasn't it? I had to take responsibility for that, and started having shows at 1 o'clock or just after 1 o'clock in the afternoon, instead of having them at 9 o'clock, which is when it's supposed to be. They're supposed to be. But it's a bank holiday today, so everyone else gets a day off. I don't get a day off. Never get a day off. But I am going to see something rather exciting today. There's a copy of the first folio of Shakespeare's work in Durham, up by the cathedral today. So I'm gonna booked. We've booked in, because this is my life. I'm so exciting. The most exciting man you'll ever meet. I'm going to go see a book. So I'm going to spend my bank holiday. What are you doing? What are you doing for your bank holiday? I'm going to see an old book. But yeah, we talk about America. It's lost the military war because it can't get, the special military operation. What was it supposed to take 3 days? Was it Putin? I mean Trump. But then they've lost the economic war. The oil prices, oil and gas prices have surged due to disrupted supply routes, and this feeds directly into inflation, into transport costs and household bills, not just in America but fucking worldwide. The US has triggered a global economic shock, and this isn't contained to the Middle East. It's hitting Europe, UK, Asia. The US has effectively exported its own crazy fucking psychosis, its instability to the entire global economy, and then Russia is the biggest winner. Higher energy prices, what massive windfall for fucking Russia, and the US has you might be charitable and say inadvertently strengthened one of its key geopolitical rivals, but I wouldn't say that. I'd say that the US has paid a good price for being fucked over a barrel of oil by Russia. But that's just me. That's just because I think that the US and the Russians are in on it together, and that's my conspiracy theory. And I'm not seeing anything so far to prove me fucking wrong. In fact, everything I've seen them do in the last couple of years in America with Trump in charge has been just proving me right. Up, so far up. Russia's arse. They can see the future. Domestic consequences are coming for the Americans. Rising fuel costs, inflation, the economic activity will hit. Decrease in economic activity will hit American voters, and that has consequences leading into these elections that Trump is going to try very, very, very hard to rig. But I think he's going to have a bit of an uphill battle. Good morning, you're infected of. It's very nice of you to say good morning, great in politics. Oh, veg pie. Excessive daytime sleepiness has become excessive. Veg pie, I was so tired this morning. It's the reason why I was a bit late getting started. I Cat had to wake me up. Normally I wake up like that, in the morning. I'm usually awake at like 7 o'clock each morning, but this it was like 8:15. Cat's like, you better wake up, Graham, you got to do your show. And I'm like, Captain Coconut with a £5 super chat for Dizzy Wizzy. Let's get busy. Wait, did I just promote amphetamine? Hey, you did. Here you go. Have a shot. Yeah, get some stimulants down your blouse. Confefe. So I actually stopped taking my ADHD medication, which I've got here. It's not my address on it, does it? Got my ADHD medication here. It's called Zagatin extra large. XL. Zagatin XL. The reason why I stopped taking it is because I was getting really sore jaw. Because I kept on clenching my jaw all the time, and it was making my jaw really sore. So I spoke to my psychologist, and she said, "You're mad, you are." And I went, "Yeah, thanks." And she said, "You're overstimulated. That's the problem. You're overstimulated." So I need to not drink any caffeine while I'm on these. It was a funny conversation. She's like, "You've been drinking?" I went, "Yeah." And she went, "You've been drinking coffee?" I went, "Yeah." And she said, "You're not supposed to have alcohol or caffeine when you're on these pills." And I'm like, "No." She's like, "Did you not read the instructions?" And I went, "What are the pills for?" She went, "ADHD." And I went, "Yeah." Anyway, so yeah, just double checking. I haven't just taken an overdose there. I haven't, don't worry. I bet Pickle is missing Graham. I'm missing Pickle. She was really sweet, honestly. So in the mornings when I did my shows, right, I know it was the afternoon for you, I'd open the little gate at the front of the house, and Pickle would be waiting there on the top step, and she'd just stand up, and then I'd be like, "All right, do you want to come down the boat dock?" And she's like, "Yeah," and she'd just come down the boat dock with me just to hang out. There was no food there or anything interesting. She just wanted to be with me while I was doing my show, and she'll sit there like when I was you saw her, was sitting on the hammock, and if I went Pickle, she'd just always come over and say hello. That's just the sweetest dog. Just the sweetest dog. Chris C, how on earth has this happened? Badenoch is now the most popular political leader, polls reveals, as she surpasses Nigel Farage. Well, she's not Nigel Farage, and she's not Keir Starmer. Read the instructions. Doctor also provide these warnings because who reads the fucking instructions? Well, exactly. Exactly. I have ADHD. Is that why I never read the instructions? Yes, veg pie. Why would you read instructions when you can just give it a go? You're wasting time reading instructions when you could just get it wrong first time and then have to spend a lot longer getting it right afterwards. ADHD equals instructions. We don't need those stinking instructions. Yes, exactly. You're an infected of channeling the treasure of the Sierra Madre there, or maybe Three Amigos, where they use the same joke. How many new bookings for Ginger is with the updated advertising, fab photos, and reasonable rent rates? None so far, Andrew. None so far. So yeah, we're still waiting on that. I really don't. I need someone who knows how to do that kind of shit. You know, I know how to bloody set me webcam up and blather nonsense for an hour or so each morning. I can do that. But, you know, advertising and promoting myself, I need a publicist. It's always been my problem. You know, like when I got back off my journey around the world, I should have been on fucking everything. I should have been on the last leg. Well, I should have been. The email went to my fucking spam folder, so I didn't get it in time for the last leg. I should have been on BBC Hard Talk, but it went to a spam folder. If I had a publicist, that wouldn't have happened because they would have just talked to me publicist. I'm a bit shit at blowing my own trumpet, and this is the thing, right? Just think about this in this way. Like if I say, "Oh, I've been to every country in the world without flying," I sound like a twat. I know I sound like a twat. Most people, I just don't fucking tell them because you meet someone new, and I don't like leading with that unless there's a specific reason why I should lead with it. You know, like I'm talking to someone in the travel industry or something. I want to get some sponsorship, but you want someone else. You want someone else, and think about it. Like whenever I mention it, we're doing the Friday night social or something. Everyone's, oh god, Graham's talking about his travels again now. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll shut up then. Do you know what I mean? And like, I change the subject and talk about something else. So I just don't feel like I should really talk about it that much. Whereas if I had a publicist who was sitting there going, "Hey, did you hear about what Graham did? It's fucking insane." It sounds a lot less arrogant. It's less likely to get people's backs up. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I just yeah. Plus, on top of the whole sort of, "Oh, shut up, Graham, you're always going on about your bloody travels," I've also got a huge fucking dollop of imposter syndrome. I genuinely don't feel like I did that thing that I did that I've got the Guinness World Record for over there. I watch footage of me traveling back then, and I feel like I'm watching someone else's TV show. I really do. So yeah, that doesn't help. So yeah, I need a publicist for me, for my island, for all my crazy shit. But then publicists cost a fucking fortune, and you've got to make some bang for your buck. And I'm not as marketable as someone who's went to private school. Kat was watching the other Bennett sister last night, and she was just going through the cast because I've got her doing this now. And no, I don't make her do it. She just does it because she's like fascinated. And she's like, "Oh my god, everyone in this went to private school." And I'm like, "Yep, every single fucking actor went to private school. Every single fucking one." Oh no, we found one who did. Oh no, they did go to private school, but on a scholarship. Okay, not as quite as bad, but still. Oh my god. But yes, did anyone know that Graham has been to every country in the world without flying? You see, Oliver. You see that's the problem. This is why you need a publicist. You need someone else. If you walk into a bar and say, "I deserve a free pint of lager," and they're like, "Why?" "Because I've been to every country in the world without flying," they'll tell you to fuck off. They'll pour you a pint and throw it in your face. But if you go in with someone who's a bit razzle dazzle, someone who's a bit Better Call Saul, and who goes, "My God, do you know who this is? Do you know who this is? This is the guy who did this." Like, look it up. Honestly, look it up online right now. He did that. Oh, give him a fucking free pint. You deserve a free pint for that, mate. Always get someone else to do it for you. It was like when I was traveling, I was, whenever I needed to get onto a cargo ship, I'd always get someone else to write the letter begging me to get on the cargo ship. "Hello, I'm writing on behalf of British adventurer Graham Hughes, blah, 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 blah." It worked. Don't knock it. It worked. When I walk into a bar, I say, "Ouch." Hey. Good morning, everyone. How are we all doing today? I'm feeling pretty meh as usual, but that's nothing new for me to say. Well, I'm going to try and give you a bit of a lift, Leapshin, because there is a little bit of Schadenfreude in the way that America is just going down the pan. It's just circling the drain. It's just There's a bit of satisfaction because America is a bit fucking. It's a bit too smug, isn't it? It's a bit too y'all fucking number one USA. I'm sick of hearing about it. To be honest with you, I mean, I'm just gonna talk about something else. But like America likes to toot its own fucking horn, doesn't it? Makes a movie about everything it does. Anything it does, it makes a fucking movie about it. You know, makes as a war wins the war. Oh, we'll have a movie about that. As the war loses the war, we'll have a movie about that. Fucking someone makes a business and it's successful. Oh, we'll make a movie about that. Someone has a business that's unsuccessful. Oh, we'll make a movie about that. You know, we've had ourselves a credit crunch. Oh, okay, we'll have a movie about that. We'll have several. All right, cool. Someone's made a social network. Oh, we'll make a movie about that. What? Someone made an internet platform for people to go on and share their hopes and dreams. Okay, all right, we'll make a movie about that. Yeah, it's just like anything. They're like, oh shit, we built a road. Okay, cool. We'll make a movie about that. We built this bridge. Oh, cool. We'll make a movie about. Oh, the bridge fell down. Oh, we'll make a movie about that. Fucking hell. All right. Someone sang a song. Did they? Oh fuck. We'll have to make a movie about that. You know, like if we were American, there'd be movies. I know that wasn't the Battle of the Bands or something that came out recently about Blair versus Oasis, but every single British band would have its own fucking film. If we were American, I've got to make a movie about it. But you know, America right now, Jesus Christ. No wonder it's panning up to Israel and Russia. The UN. The weekend there was a vote for condemning Russia's actions in Ukraine. Do you know the 3 countries that voted against it? Russia, no surprise there. North Korea, no surprise there. And America. America voted against it. A resolution saying that Russia shouldn't be fucking invading Ukraine. Yeah. And this is why NATO unity is fracturing. These fucking Yanks. How much money have we paid into NATO? Nothing, dickheads. Shut up. You're not paid anything into NATO, you fucking clowns. You don't know how it fucking works. NATO is a strategic defense alliance, not a war alliance, not an offensive, not an aggressive alliance that goes around bulldozing countries it doesn't like the look of. No, it's a defensive alliance. And America enjoys a position where, because of its vast military industrial complex, a lot of the weapons that are bought by NATO members are bought from America. It was a good little quids in for America. It is America's choice. America's choice to spend 50 cents of every fucking tax dollar on their fucking military and having the biggest military in the world, bigger than all 26 following militaries put together. That's their choice. We're not forcing them to do that. They want to have military bases in Britain, in Cyprus, in fucking Diego Garcia. That we're not forcing them to do that. That is their choice. And they don't pay into a pot. It's not like fucking Bread, the TV show, the sitcom, where they'll put money in the fucking porcelain chicken in the middle of the fucking the kitchen table. It's not the way it works. Now, if one of the smaller members of NATO, like North Macedonia, got fucking attacked by the Kosovans or someone, right? And we came in and we spent billions and billions and billions of pounds saving the North Macedonians, and they gave fuck all to the cause, right? Okay, but that's never happened. The only time that NATO has ever been called forth in a defensive situation, triggered by Article 5 of the NATO Treaty Organization fucking treaty, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization's treaty, Article 5. If one is attacked, we're all attacked, right? The only time it's ever been activated is fucking America. And they made us all of us, from Denmark to France to the UK, all the members of NATO had to go to Afghanistan. And that cost us, the British taxpayer, billions. And it also cost lives of British servicemen and women who were killed out there. And yet Americans are like, we pay all this money into NATO. No, you don't. You pay a load of money for your own fucking army. That's your fucking choice. We pay less money for our army. That is our choice. And maybe if we were invaded by Russia and you came to our assistance and you spent a lot more money than we did, you might have an argument. But that's never happened. So far, never happened. I'll take things that never happened for 50, please, Alex. Draconic Drizzt. Hey, how you doing, mate? I'm seeing some names here I haven't seen for a little while. So hello. They'll probably do a movie about a rescued fighter pilot, but you won't hear Trump say he should have got shot down. If he shouldn't have got shot down if he was a good pilot. Yeah. I'm gonna say something now that's probably gonna get me into trouble. But I do think, in some way, Trump's got a bit of a point when it comes to one specific thing that Americans do in their military that I don't know if any other military do this, right? And this was pointed out to me by someone who's an officer in the British Army, okay? Pointed out that Americans give their troops medals for like everything. They give medals for turning up, medals for shining their shoes, medals for walking in formation, all kinds of medals, right? But he said the stupidest one of all is they give them medals for getting injured, a Purple Heart. If you get injured in battle, you get a Purple Heart. And he's like, what the fuck? Getting injured in battle is what you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to injure the other people. You're not supposed to get injured. Why are you rewarding? Why are you giving people medals? That's not very politically correct. I know. But it made me laugh. But yeah, Trump's like, oh, fucking only losers get caught. When he's talking about John McCain, the Vietnam vet turned senator, who he couldn't bring his hands above his head because he'd been tortured. He'd been kept in a bamboo cage, submerged in water for years. I mean, like months or whatever it was. Just fucking hell. And he's like, oh, I like my heroes not to get caught, says Trump. And it's fucking Corporal Bone Spurs over there who drafted the dodge. He dodged the draft to go to Vietnam. NATO should expand to include Australia, says Grant Johnson, and New Zealand, Japan, South Korea under a new alliance treaty organization. Yeah, couldn't agree more, mate. Couldn't agree more. Absolutely. Yes, the Yanks get medals for passing training. I've only 3, and one was a freebie for the Queen being on the throne for 60 years. Yeah. They get medals for fucking everything. This is Gareth. Gareth obviously knows what I'm talking about here, but it does wind British servicemen and women. It winds them up because like, why'd you get medals for? Like to get a Victoria Cross, you have to literally fucking do everything but die. And this is why a lot of the people who got Victoria Crosses in the First World War and the Second World War never talked about their experiences because it was too fucking harrowing. Like what they went through to get that fucking VC was just mind blowing. America, it's like, oh, we give the medals to all the people the person who got the VC fucking saved. But yeah, the big bullshit bill when he drafted the Dodge. Yeah. No range awards in artillery. Didn't Trump refer to the soldiers who were killed while on active duty suckers? Yeah, he called them suckers. I think he referred to the people who were dead in fucking Arlington Cemetery in Washington, D.C. He referred to them as suckers. Yeah. But yeah, Trump is openly threatening to withdraw from NATO, as we're saying. We need to expand it away from America. It's actively destabilizing the alliance that underpins Western security. And trusting the leadership, Trump is collapsing, and because allies rely on predictability, but also commerce does as well. One of the reasons why Brexit was so damaging to the UK wasn't just that we were leaving the biggest and most successful trading union the world had ever seen for no reason other than some posh boys from the posh school down the road were all wanking into a hat or whatever they do in posh schools, and they went, oh, let's have I really hate the fact that the plebs are allowed to marry someone from France. I want to be the only person who can marry someone from France because I'm incredibly fucking rich. I was spat out my mum's twat onto a big pile of money. They took those rights away from us. They took our right to live and retire and build a house and build a business and live in and fall in love in 31 other countries. They didn't want us to be able to do that. Now we can only do that in Ireland. It's the only country we can just go to without having to ask any fuckers permission. We don't have to pay any money. We don't have to get any visas. We don't have to get a residentia or a cedula or a fucking green card or whatever the fuck they have in each different country. You had all these twats like the gobshites from Mumford and Sons sitting around going, oh, you know, doing cocaine and eating swans, whatever rich people do, on their private yacht, and going, wouldn't it be hilarious if we were the only band in Britain that could afford to tour in Europe? Oh yeah, hey Thomas, get your banjo out again. Oh, it's so delightful, it's so fucking twee. And so they made it so. They made it so that bands that, you know, were born on the wrong side of the tracks, like all good bands are, couldn't tour in Europe anymore. They took that away from us. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. You know, but the thing that really fucked up our economy long term, not just the shock of leaving the biggest and most successful trading union the world has ever seen, that's on our fucking doorstep, right? In order to trade with countries that have never heard of us on the other side of the fucking planet, who don't want anything that we can sell them because they haven't got the money to buy it in the first place. And, you know, anything that we can offer, they can get cheaper from somewhere closer, like, I don't know, China. It was also the uncertainty. It was also the uncertainty for the best part of 4 years. We didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know what the deal was going to be with Europe. We didn't know what the future was going to look like. We didn't know what tariffs were going to be set. We didn't know what barriers were going to be there. We didn't know what phytosanitary checks were going to be put in. We didn't know this. We didn't know that. So why would you invest? Why would you put loads of money, invest in a crack addict? That's what it was. From 2016 to 2021. Will you invest in a crack addict? No, because I don't know what they're going to do next. Ovs. And, you know, America's doing this now. It's being unpredictable. And so who wants to invest in something that is massively, massively unpredictable? No one. That's it. You know? And, yeah, there is a sort of global perception shift away from America being a force of stability to being sort of viewed as a source of absolute fucking chaos. You know, explosion in the clown factory. That's what it is at the moment. And businesses don't like that. And it's why I keep saying we should be just offering fucking golden handshakes to anyone who wants to come here from America, who's got a degree. Just take him. Just take them all. I got a bottle of brandy off Prince Philip after being on his search team. Actually quite a nice bloke. Said, you are the crazy buggers who go looking for bombs. Yeah. I know he was a racist old kook, but you know, it's, and this isn't an excuse, but like the older generation, they're all a bit like that. They're all a bit like that. There we go. Not all boomers. Although he wasn't a boomer, he was part of the greatest generation, wasn't he? Technically speaking. But yeah, mum fucks and scum, says Andrew. Oh, we should be able to talk. But fuck those other bands. Fuck those. You know, you ask the question. Why are there no new bands? Go on, ask that question. Why are there no new bands? Who have we got? The 1975. Where did that lead singer with the 1975 go to school? Private school. Who else have we got? I don't think of like the biggest band at the moment, as far as I'm concerned, is Wolf Alice. They were formed before Brexit. Who's left? Churches. They were formed before Brexit. Which new bands in the last 10 years have really made it through to the mainstream? Who's had a number one album? You don't think Brexit had a huge fucking role in that? Destroying British music? And again, I always see in my mind's eye the people who voted for Brexit and still believe that it's the greatest thing we ever did. I see them like, I think the character's called Elmira from Tiny Toons Adventures, and she was the one who would get animals and squeeze them to death because she loved them so much. She'd squeeze them and squeeze them and she'd be like, "Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you," and she'll choke the life out of them because she loved those animals so much. She hugged them so much she killed them, which is, well, she didn't actually kill them. It was a cartoon, but you know, stay with me on this analogy. That's what these flag shaggers are like. This is what these Brexiteers are like. These are people who support refuck are like. This is what they're like. They love our country so much they're strangling it to death because they're hugging it too tight. And you go, can you hug it a little less tight? No, I love it. I love this country. I'm going to show how much I love this country by fucking the economy and putting a load of flags up so that the local housing, goes down about 10% in its value. All the small venues have gone. Yeah, another knock-on effect of I used to said that. Yeah, from Brexit. You know, whether these bands, so many of them made money through touring around Europe. The Beatles played in Hamburg. Yeah, they absolutely did, and that's how they cut their teeth. They were playing these gigs at night, like fucking 8 hours of fucking music, and they had to play anything that someone shouted out at them, like punk and fucking rocky. They're just like, play this rock and roll classic, play Rock Around the Clock, play blue suede shoes, and they'd have to play it, and that's how they fucking learned to play their instruments. They've learned about chord progressions. They learned about all this kind of stuff. And they came back from Hamburg absolutely fucking superpowered. And I know that was before the EU as we knew it from 1992 onwards. But at the same time, I mean, they got to do that. Nowadays, bands can't do that because they wouldn't be able to spend 6 months in Hamburg because they'd only be able to spend 3 months there. And then they'd have to come back. And then they wouldn't be able to go anywhere in Europe for another 3 months. And they go, oh, we're going to have a special touring thing for bands. Yeah, for bands. Not for their instruments, not for the people who are working with them, not for their roadies, not for them, not for the bus driver. Elmira was deluded to think animals love her back, says Draconic. Yeah. 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 But I think she was such a great example. I know it was fictional. Obviously, it was a fucking cartoon. But it's just a really great example of how some people get so obsessed with this particular thing. They love it so much they kill it. And they can't see that they're actively harming the thing that they claim to love. But also, it's that thing of like, I love this TV show so much. I'm gonna sit right in front of the TV. I'm gonna sit a centimeter away from the TV. Well, great. All you can see is fucking dots. From there, you can't see the bigger picture. You can't see, But I've got to show how much I love it by being so close to it. I'm like, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. Kind of weird, jealous, possessive love that is absolutely cloying and sucks the life out of whatever it is that these people have decided that this is going to be the thing that defines their life. What is the thing that defines your life? I love football more than anything. Really? Okay, cool. That's cool. Football's fun, I guess. And if you take a healthy approach to it, and you go the match every couple of weeks, go to a home game and cheer on your team. Okay, that's great. But you know what? If they lose and you start a fucking fight, or you go home and commit some horrific act of violence against your partner, no, just fuck off. But I love me football so much and we lost. Yeah. And touring Europe with merch is a nightmare. Merch was the real money maker. Yeah, very good points. Very good points, Ernie. Now that Mumford and Sons, because don't forget, it's the dad of the banjo player from Mumford and Sons who owns GB News and the Spectator. That motherfucker who gives all this money to fucking Refuck TV, Refuck magazine. Anyway, so yeah, just back to America. It's just lost its fucking allies, isn't it? You know, allies rely on predictability. What they're seeing instead is volatility, threats, erratic decision making, and so America, it's lost militarily, it's lost its allies, it's losing economically, it's also lost the moral argument. I mean, he's talking about targeting civilian infrastructure. He's saying, "I'm going to bomb your power plants," which is a war crime, a genuine war crime, because it's bombing civilians and the things that civilians rely on to survive. You know, there are thousands of people dead already, 4 million people displaced, and the justification for war remains what was they had nuclear weapons? No, they didn't. Would they use them if they had nuclear weapons? Don't lie. Well, they might have had nuclear weapons. Don't give me some kind of fucking hypothetical situation. Give me on the ground fucking info that you've got that there was a moral imperative to do this. I can hear Catherine clanking around in the kitchen, and I'm thinking that she might just be having breakfast, but she might be taking the leg of lamb that we had yesterday, what's left of it, and she might be making scouse. I've got a feeling we're having scouse for dinner tonight. Oh yeah, love a bit of scouse. Chris C, breaking news: Iran confirms it has received a ceasefire plan, but says US is not ready for peace and they will not be reopening the Strait of Hormuz until the US is serious about ceasefire. Well, exactly. He's taking inspiration from Putin and Netanyahu. Yeah, we don't need any friends. We don't need anyone. I don't need anyone. I'm going home with my football. Have fun kicking the ball against the wall. But yeah, I mean, figures across the US political spectrum are calling the president unhinged and dangerous. It's not normal. It's a systemic breakdown. They can't get rid of him. They can't get rid of him until he dies. That's it. It's the only way that Trump is leaving the White House is in a box. And the US has long, since the Nuremberg trials, it's long positioned itself as a defender of international law, and that credibility is now absolutely in tatters. It's also lost its political centre. The rhetoric has completely broken down. A sitting president using expletive-laden threats on social media like he did this weekend during a war is not unusual. It signals the collapse of presidential norms. The talk of the 25th Amendment is resurfacing. Not that that's ever going to be enacted, because it needs to be enacted by the friends of the president. What a stupid fucking system. Let's go through this 25th Amendment. So how it works is this, right? So there's a kid, and he's been done in school for bullying, right? And so what they do is, instead of punishing the kid for bullying, they get his little bully mates to come to the headmaster's office or head teacher's office, and then they're all asked if they want to, punish this bully for bullying, but they're all mates with the bully, so they say no. Give it another analogy. So there's a murderer, right? And they're on trial for murder, and the jury is made up of their mates. Yeah, that's the situation you have in America, because who decides we're going to have the 25th Amendment? Well, the vice president and the cabinet. Who's the vice president of the cabinet? It's just the president's mates. And do you want this person to be head of the FBI? Do you want this person to be head of Homeland Security? Do you want this person to be, their equivalent to the Home Secretary, the Foreign Secretary? Do you want these people in power? Yeah. The Democrats are like, oh, I don't want this person. I don't think they're any good. Okay, well we'll have some hearings on the Hill. We'll have some hearings. So they sit there and they go, are you all right to do this job? And they're like, no, I'm a massive fucking rapist. Like that guy they put into the Supreme Court, or like Pete Hegseth. I'm a massive fucking rapist. Here's all these women who say that you raped them. Yeah, I totally all fucking, I did that. I totally did that. It's all true. Um, okay, well, I don't think you should be, in charge of our military. I don't think you should be sitting on the Supreme Court, considering you're a fucking rapist. Yeah, but there's actually nothing you can do. This is just this is just a pantomime. Basically, you can't stop me becoming the person who the president wants me to be. Oh yeah, you're right. What a great system! It's the greatest system in the world. Let's go all dewy-eyed and talk about the fucking the Constitution and how it works and how amazing it. Oh, no. Fuck the West Wing. Um, I, but yeah, this isn't like left versus right anymore in the US. I mean, the parties are fragmenting. You've got people in the Republican Party going, the fuck, man. And institutions in America are falling apart. The state itself is falling apart. Governance is being replaced by chaos, and the decision making has been replaced with reactive emotional impulses, rather than, I don't know, strategic goals to better the lives of the vast majority of American citizens. America's also lost the information war. Contradictory narratives are everywhere. Claim of victory versus the evidence of ongoing conflict. The mission accomplished rhetoric, like within a day of launching dropping bombs on Iran. And here we are, the credibility gap. I mean, there's about Iran having a nuclear weapon. Fucking hell. I'm sorry, but Iran having power over the Strait of Hormuz is more powerful than a nuclear weapon. It simply is. They dropped a nuke on Israel, for instance. That would be awful. That would be absolutely awful, and lots of people would die, and it would be dreadful. But what it would do to the world's economy, not that much. I know that Israel is one of only 8 sovereign nations that are, UN nations. Let's say 9. Let's say, Israel is one of only 9 nations in the whole continent of Asia, the vast continent of Asia, which is seen as having an advanced economy by the IMF. So yeah, I mean, there will be a little bit of an impact. I mean, apart from the whole, nuclear bomb and the fallout and the death and the suffering and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Domestically, but internationally, but shut off the Strait of Hormuz, fucking hell, you fuck every country in the world simultaneously. Which is quite impressive. It's like a fucking Japanese manga tentacle monster. How do you fuck that many countries all at once? I don't know. It's just got lots of tentacles, I guess. But yeah, the credibility gap in America, which is yawning as at the moment. It's like waving a sausage in the Mersey tunnel. It's like opening the window and fucking the night. That's how big that gap is. The official statements don't match observable reality. And so, domestically and internationally, trust is just absolutely gone. It's not even collapsing. It's gone. It's just not there anymore. Markets are reacting faster than governments. Traders, investors, and institutions are making real-time decisions based on the perceived instability, often before governments have time to respond. And it's making a lot of money for a lot of evil people. Chaos is a ladder. And then you've got inside the trading, suspicious bets, all that sort of stuff, opaque decision making. It just all fuels the sense that something is deeply, deeply wrong. Something is rotten in the state of Denmark. Well, not Denmark, the US. It's also lost its strategic focus, America. It's got no clear end game. Like, what does regime change look like? They've put another guy in charge who's younger than the guy they took out, who's more angry and more hardline, and will last another 20, 30 years. Whereas the guy they took out was in his 80s. He didn't have much long. He didn't have long left. Yeah, what they would have been best doing if you want to destabilize the governing council, the clerical council of that runs the show in Iran. What you best doing is just leaving it till the old guy dies, and then making sure you've got one of your people on the board somehow, who just causes a little bit of ructions on who gets to be the next supreme leader. Just asks the right questions or the wrong questions or whatever, and make a little bit of instability there at the very top, and then take advantage of the instability. And when because there's a group of people who want Iran to become more hardline, there's a group that want them to become more progressive and outward looking, and you can play one against the off against the other. They could have done that all secretly and behind closed doors, and playing the old diplomatic game, but they didn't. They didn't. They could have offered stuff. They could have said, "Hey, listen, now that the old guy is dead, if you put someone who's a bit of a modernizer in charge, then we'll give you all this candy. We'll give you all these sweets. We'll give you all this nice things. We'll open up the oil corridor. We'll open up the oil pipelines. We'll open up this. We'll give you some incentives. I'm much more carrot than stick in many ways." On a lot of things, and this in particular, I'm thinking, all they've done is made a whole generation of Iranians hate America, when actually I've been to Iran and they didn't give a fuck about America, because America didn't really directly affect them. Now America is really directly affecting them. So, there's America's fighting the wrong war instead of addressing long-term challenges like climate change. Building economic resilience, building up against an economic strong box against a stronghold against China, or building up more defenses against Russia, which is a massive fucking imperialistic aggressor. At the moment, they've put all these resources. They're burning billions of dollars of resources in a volatile regional conflict. They've got no hope of fucking winning. Daft military adventure. What does victory look like? Regime change? That's not worked. Open shipping lanes? That's not worked. Deterrence? That's not worked. In fact, none of it was clearly defined. But even if it was, what have they got? What have they got? They've got escalation without strategy. They can talk about deadlines and threats and strikes that appear disconnected from any kind of long-term plan. No, we're talking about massive strategic losses. Even if individual operations, tactical operations succeed, the broader picture is deteriorating. Don't forget, tactical stuff is like here and now. It's like day to day, whereas strategic is long-term. And America's also lost its identity. From a global leader to a global fucking joke. Everyone is laughing at America. It used to be like we were laughing behind their back. Now we're not even laughing behind their back. We're just laughing at them. The US used to present itself as an anchor of the international system. Now it's a fucking wanker of the international system. It's now as a source of instability. Democracy, rule of law, human rights. Everything they're doing domestically and internationally just contradicts those ideals. And the America First paradox. It's like, the policies intended to strengthen the US are actually weakening its global standing and making it more. You've got a president in the United States who's begging allies to come and help him out with the Strait of Hormuz. Is that America First? Is it? Is that America standing on its own 2 feet and all that jazz? Okay. And the influence isn't just military. It's cultural. It's dependent. It's diplomatic. It's moral. All of that is eroding. And the best case scenario, what happens next is de-escalation, negotiated reopening of the strait, gradual stabilization of the market. But the long-term damage is already done. And these facilities that have been hit across the Middle East, they're fucked, or West Asia, they're fucked. It's going to take fucking months, if not years, to get all this stuff back online. And, the likely scenario here is continued instability, intermittent escalation, and prolonged economic disruption. The worst case scenario is a full regional fucking war, direct confrontation with multiple states, and an oil shock spiraling into a global recession. And the question is, who's in control here? Who's in control? Because it doesn't look like it's the Americans. It does not look like it's Americans. America hasn't just lost in the sense that it's losing this war. It's lost control. It's lost credibility. It's lost its allies. It's lost economic stability. It's lost its moral authority, all at the same time. And do you know what the funniest bit of all this? It probably doesn't even fucking realize it yet. What a time to be alive. I just keep making this joke about which Polynesian goddess we offended by, with our gift, with our burnt sacrifice that wasn't not quite up to scratch. What do we do? What do we do to end up on this fucking timeline? It's a fucking crazy world. Although, you know what? There is some hope on the horizon. There is some good news. Yesterday was really sunny and it was really windy. It was really windy and sunny. And there's a good chance that the energy mix in the UK was used no fossil fuels whatsoever. I mean, it might have been for a little while, not for the whole time, but we're really, really pushing down on the amount of fossil fuels we're using to power this country, which is fucking amazing. And I'm reading articles about people complaining about pylons, and I completely get it. Like, it does spoil the environment, it does spoil the view. I do get that. And as a kid, I used to hate the pylons that ran across the valleys and mountains of North Wales. I was like, that's so fucking ugly. Yeah, they are. I agree. But we're in an emergency. We're in a fucking emergency. All right? It's like complaining about radar stations or bunkers during World War II. No, we needed them. I'm sorry, but we're in an emergency. We fucking need them. And when there's an emergency, aesthetics, I'm sorry, they come down. They come a little bit lower down on the level of import. But you know what? Right? Let's do it. Let's just get the fucking 400,000 volt fucking energy system put in place, so the transmission wires can take the electricity all the way from Scotland down to the south of England. Let's just fucking do it, right? And we can worry about the aesthetics later. Let's just get it done, and then in the future maybe we can bury the underground. But right now we need to wean ourselves off fossil fuels so fucking quickly, because you see what happened. You see what's happening. You see what's happening. And at the moment, the energy mix is looking pretty fucking tasty when it comes to renewables, and we need to keep pushing that. We've got up from like 1 gigawatt of battery power to 5 gigawatts, and we've spoken before about the fact that more and more electric vehicles, they can all be used as power banks. They can. Energy mix UK Sunday 5th April. Our fuel mix, British electricity mix. At 11 a.m. it was gas 4.5%. Wow, that's pretty fucking impressive. British electricity tracker. This is on X. So X, don't like being on X. We had, let's have a look, gas at 4.5%, biomass on 5%. This is at 11 a.m. yesterday. Wind 34.6%, solar 29.1%. So that's nearly 66%. It's nearly 2/3 of the mix being made by by wind, solar, and hydro. Put nuclear into the mix there, we've got another 16% on top of that. So that's another that takes you up all the way to 82% of the mix. 82% of the mix, and then 10% imports. 10% imports. So 10% imports, 9.5% gas and biomass, and then the rest of it renewables. That is phenomenal. That is absolutely phenomenal. So let's have a look. 3 a.m., 11 p.m. I'm trying to see if we can get gas down to no, on the 5th. On the 5th, the mix at when was it? At 11 a.m. was really, really fucking low for gas. Picked up during the day. Right now, let's have a look. 8 a.m. this morning, gas had gone up to 17.9%, which isn't great. But, we're getting there. Can you imagine, like, over 80% of our energy mix coming from renewables? That happened yesterday. Reasons to be cheerful. Well, if we are going to sacrifice our dignity and our future to the market. Let's ask the market. Like the market's the wise man on the top of the mountain. So we climb up to the top of the mountain to ask the market a question. What should we do? What should we do, market? And the market's always right according to these Milton Friedman fucking Chicago School of Economics bullshit knobhead, what they call libertarian twats. Okay, fair enough. Let's run with that. Okay, what's the cheapest way to make energy these days? Renewables. What's the most efficient way? Renewables. What's the way that is less impacted by fluctuations in the energy market caused by some tin pot dictator invading their neighbor? Renewables. What's the only way of getting energy sovereignty? Renewables. Okay, let's just go for renewables. Let's just go for renewables. As of 10:15, gas is providing 7.2 of all electricity generation. Percent of all electricity generation. Phenomenal. Ivan sent me a message. Yeah, but I'm presenting a show. I'll check my messages. This is gonna be fun for everybody. Just 1 second. It's a Facebook link. Okay, Ivan, I'm presenting a show. I can't watch another video while I'm presenting a show. Can we go to the papers? I'll come back to this. I'm presenting a show. This is difficult for me. That's probably my ADHD, but like I just struggle with trying to do multiple things. Even though I try to do multiple things at once all the freaking time because ADHD. It's one of those. What's it called? Oxymorons. I am the oxymoron. There you go. Thanks for the message. To watch a video, which I'm going to the papers now. How to kickstart your midlife fitness routine. Walk this way. Our guide to perfect ramble. We got him. U.S. airman rescued in daring raid. We've got a picture of the girl and the woman from the family. They're walking somewhere. So that's very important that the Daily Telegraph know, that you know, that we know, that they know that there's people walking from the family. There's a picture of the little girl from the family. And yes, if you took a picture of a little girl and then you printed it onto 400,000 pamphlets and distributed them to every corner shop, WH Smith, and train station in the country, everyone will think you're a bit of a weirdo. I'm going to keep pointing this out till everyone agrees with me. Miliband's net zero drive fails to cut fossil fuels. And Miliband's net zero policies are failing to reduce Britain's reliance on fossil fuels, the government has admitted. Since the general election in 2024, the Energy Secretary has introduced and continued a raft of net zero policies with Labour promised would bring down energy bills. However, figures show that the UK is no less dependent on fossil fuels than it was when Labour took office. I mean, what they took office less than 2 years ago. How long do they think things take to actually build and put in place and sort out? Like, seriously, I mean, just the impatience is hilarious. They're just, it's not working. Jobless families handed £6,000 in benefits as tax bomb hits middle class. Starmer about to U-turn. Starmer to about turn on foie gras ban for the EU. So this is to do with the EU, getting close to the EU. Unfortunately, for some stupid reason, that means that we have to have foie gras, which is really cruel. It's fattened. It's pate made from ducks that are like force fed to make this fatty liver or something. It's a bit of a grim situation, and but apparently we're gonna have a U-turn on that because of a trade deal with the EU. Do you know what the thing is though? Right, we don't have to sell it. We do have a bit of sovereignty. We can say we're not selling it in this country. We can totally do that. But they like to lie. These newspapers like to lie all the time, like they're talking about we're changing the name of marmalade. No, as I pointed out last week when we were talking about it, you can put orange marmalade on there. You don't have to put citrus. You can put orange marmalade or lemon marmalade or lime marmalade, which is what they do. Go and have a look in your local supermarket. You probably never noticed this. Go and pick up a jar of Robinson's or your local Aldi fucking marmalade, and it'll say what citrus fruit is in the marmalade. It'll say orange marmalade. That's it. It already does that. Not one label of one producer of marmalade is going to have to change, because they've always had to differentiate, because there are different forms of marmalade depending on which citrus fruit that marmalade is made for. Apologies, Ivan messaged me to tell you. No, it's all right, Diz. I'm sorry. It's just I'm doing a show. Like, I just. But yeah. Oh God, the dog has just peed on the floor because she thought we'd gone out. Oh no, Diz! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Americans can't do the F-bomb. But yeah, wouldn't you think, when we talk about foie gras, wouldn't you think that the Daily Telegraph of all newspapers would be really up for that? Because they like torturing animals, don't they? They're all up for torturing humans most of the time. Torture me by making me read their fucking stupid newspaper when I'm doing this. Waitrose sack worker after tackling shoplifter. Okay, whatever. Humanity's first sight of the moon's secrets, and Rayner puts firms on dangerous precipice. All right, okay, another attack piece for the Angela Rayner. I thought she wasn't deputy prime minister anymore, but let's have a newspaper thing about how evil she is. Diz dog took a piss. Diz dog took a piss. Marmalade tastes like news ass. Hey, take that out. Take that back. Take that back. Take that back. News ass tastes amazing. And then we've got a picture of the Queen, who's dead for some reason. Exclusive, what President told me about the King and late Queen and Kate, Robert Harmon. Well, do you know what he said about Princess Diana, the mother of the heir to the throne? He said that he could have nailed her, but only if she'd have an AIDS test first. That's what he said. You know, to make sure she doesn't have AIDS. That's what Trump said. You might want to remind that to anyone who's so fucking, oh, I love Trump. He tells it like it is. Say, well, do you remember when he said that about Princess Diana, the mother of the heir to the throne of the United Kingdom? He said he'll nail her, but only if she had an AIDS test. How'd you feel about that? Oh, I think that's great. Fucking hate. I hate the royal family. I actually no, I love them. Oh, I hate them. I love them. I'm so confused. Trump drops F-bomb on Iran. See what they did there. Haha. After dramatic airman rescue, unhinged president issued foul-mouthed ultimatum. Yep. And then we've got a picture of Posh and Bex, in case you forgot what the other royal family look like. Oh, and here's the royal family there, walking to somewhere. They're walking. Yeah, cool. They walked somewhere. Cool. That needs to be literally a huge part of the front page of the newspaper. Do you know there were like literally fucking that there are millions of people in this country who will buy a newspaper because they see that the royal family's on the front of it. They're walking past the news agents and they see, oh, there's a picture of the royal family. Okay, all right, quickly, go, quick, get the picture. I don't know what they do. Do they cut them out? Do they stick them on the wall? Do they wank over them? I don't know. I just find it really fucking weird. It's a really weird thing that British people do. Stop doing it, British people. Please, just stop it. Everyone's laughing at us. Everyone thinks we're fucking weirdos for our obsession with the royal family. Couldn't give a shit. But they walk somewhere. Okay, cool. They wore a hat. Oh my God, quick, put them on the front cover. They wore a hat. I wear a hat every day. There won't come a point when on the 1,000th time that I was on the front cover of every single fucking newspaper. Well, I'll call up the newspaper and say, listen, can you stop putting me on the front of the whole fucking newspapers? It's a bit fucking creepy and weird. It's really fucking creepy and weird. Stop being creepy and weird. You can put me kids on the front of the fucking newspaper. I hate it. Stop it. It's really fucking creepy and weird. Stop being creepy and weird, Britain. Anyway, so back to the creepy and weird newspapers. New Trump deadline to open Strait or face hell. Pregnancy deaths in the NHS at highest level for 2 decades, which is disgraceful. Women dying during Women dying during pregnancy, labour, or soon after giving birth is the highest level for 2 decades, despite NHS recovering dozens of recommendations to act on life-threatening symptoms. And bill ready British industry for war delayed is there. We've got my mother, Audrey Hepburn, her son Sean, on growing up with a legend. I might read that. I like her. I like Audrey Hepburn. She's one of my faves. Never being boring, a visual record of the Pet Shop Boys. I like the Pet Shop Boys as well. They're a couple of my faves as well. Trump threatens to unleash hell on Iran in explicitly laden tirade. PM takes aim at Greens in workers' rights launch. Keir Starmer has used the number of workers' rights that have come into force today to attack the Green Party, saying a vote for Labour's rivals puts progress on sick pay, parental leave, and 0 hours contract at risk. Yeah, but it absolutely does. But do you know how to stop people voting for the parties, Kia? Do you know how to do it? Fucking get better at your job. Be better at your job, all right? Be better at your job. Fucking improve your comms. Pepsi drops sponsorship at Kanye West-led event. That's interesting. Let's talk about this for a moment, because Kanye West is supposed to play the what's it called? The Latitude, the Wireless Festival, in July, I think, of this year, and he's been nominated as a headliner. And there's been a lot of kickback about this because Kanye West famously has put out tweets saying that he's a Nazi and he loves Hitler, and he's put out merch that's got a fucking swastika on it and stuff. And then he put it like a full page apology in the New York bullshit on in January this year, saying, "I'm sorry, I'm not a Nazi. I've just got bipolar disorder." And I'm like, well, surely there should be some people around him to say no when he starts putting merch out that's got a fucking swastika on it. I mean, okay, a tweet, yeah, that could be sent in a moment of madness, but fucking printing t-shirts with a fucking swastika on, I mean, that takes a bit of effort, you know? This is just like some manic episode. That takes a bit of fucking effort. Anyway, so everyone thinks he's a big Nazi, and they don't want him playing. So there you go. I said it earlier when we were talking about Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola or Cherry Cola, depending on which version of Lola. And that's a question I wanted to ask, because we have a lot of trans women watching this, and hello to you all, and love and respect to you all. Moby was in the news a couple of weeks ago, and I never thought I meant to bring this up when I was on the island, and I never did. Complaining about Lola by the Kinks, and I remember reading the article about it, and I was just a bit confused because I'm like, I'm not trans, right? But considering when that song came out in 1970 and actually reading the lyrics, I mean, it's pretty fucking progressive for the 1970s. It might be, if the same song came out now, everyone would look askance at it a little bit like, what the fuck is this? But for that to come out in the 1970s, and it's like, the message from it is, I met a trans woman, and she's gorgeous, and I love her, and it's great. I'm just like, can I ask a question specifically to trans women in our chat there? How do you feel about Lola? Do you think Moby's talking out of his arse? Because I mean, my opinion on this was just like, what the fuck, Moby? Like, and there was a bit of a backlash that I saw where trans women in particular were saying, actually, Lola was one of my favorite songs growing up, and it's something that made me feel accepted and made me feel valued, and I don't know. I just thought that was like I sort of all the things that are going on at the moment, and all the fucking transphobia that we're having to deal with across society, going after Lola by the Kinks. I mean, I can see why Walk on the Wild Side by Lou Reed is problematic now. I completely get that. And I'm not saying that Lola is like the perfect fucking song by any stretch of the imagination, but it was very much of its time. So I'm kind of interested. Martin says, Moby is a bit mad, to be fair. Yes. My apology was not enough. It'll take a real... his apology was not enough. It takes a real arc of redemption to be rehabilitated. Something about Kanye West. Yeah. Yeah. Now playing the Kings. Audrey Hepburn served in the Dutch resistance, the Hunger, Winter, and Operation Manna. Yep, she did. She delivered messages for the resistance on her bike. To quote Moby, go. Never heard it so indifferent. We had so many much bigger problems than the song from 50 years ago. Yeah, Gallifrey, man, I hadn't read your message then before I said that, but like, I'm like, surely this isn't the hill to die on right now. I mean, come on. My friend called her little dog Lola. Neither she or the dog are trans. She just loved the song and liked the name. I just think it's a remarkable. I genuinely feel like it's a remarkable song. My grandma had Robinson's brooches. She wore them all the time. Honestly, like the Gammon lot are still upset about losing the mascot of the Robinsons job. It's an incredibly racist mascot that they used to have. They're still upset about losing that. I don't think Lola is trans, but they did use to fade out the end on the radio stations, so you couldn't hear that. I'm glad I'm a man, and so is Lola. That's the last line. That's the last line. Well, maybe in the Met. Did they do that in the UK? I know they changed Cherry Cola, because I made a reference to it a minute ago. I was like, they changed Coca-Cola to Cherry Cola so it could be played on the BBC, because it couldn't be an advert. But I think Gallifreyan Men's point there is like, there's so many much more bigger problems than the song from 50 years ago. It just seemed like a weird thing to pick on. Chris says, you want to see how far it can go, just look at what they're doing in American libraries. They're forcing books to be removed because they might be obscene for children. By the way, these books are puberty books. Yeah. They want little girls to commit suicide because they start their period and no one's ever talked to them about periods. That's what they want. They're so fucked. They're so fucked in the head. The people who ban books, ban education. They don't want kids to learn about their bodies and learn about, what's bad. And because I suppose it's easier to abuse children if they don't know what's being done to them. Kanye claimed to be the greatest rock musician at Glastonbury Festival. When told to Keith Richard, he replied, "Who's she?" Classic. Says Andrew Ray. I was there at Kanye West in 2016 with my gay fish flag. I had a gay fish flag. I also had 2 beach balls blown up, and then it was they were papier mâché all around, and then they had Kanye. They had what was his wife's name? Kim Kardashian. It had Kim's arse written. It bounced around the crowd. This massive couple of beach balls in papier mâché. It was funny. I guess you had to be there. When I finally get my novel written and published, I can't wait to see how many bans I get for a trans protagonist. Yeah. But I mean, like having a trans protagonist in a novel now. I mean, J.K. Rowling could get away with having a book where the person who's doing the murders is fucking trans. And we talked in the past about how badly trans people were treated in Hollywood movies, especially in the 80s. The 90s in particular. Very, very unsympathetic portrayals. And you could point to the Silence of the Lambs, in which they specifically say that Buffalo Bill is not trans. Trans people are gentle, caring people, and Buffalo Bill isn't that. But everyone misses that line. And then The Crying Game, which is good in some respects because it does have a positive view of the trans character in it. But then it's undermined by the whole thing of they wait until the main guy in the film gets with the trans woman before she reveals that she's trans. When they're in the bedroom, and it's like that never happens. That never. I mean, I think who would do that? Who would put themselves in a position where a man might fucking attack them because they go, surprise! Yeah, just all the trans people I've ever met, even if I didn't have a fucking clue that they were trans, told me, like, straight up, just said, by the way, I'm trans. Did you know I was trans? And, why would you wait until you're in the bedroom? Unless you wanted to create some artificial drama. And then you had really problematic films. And we talked about Ace Ventura, Naked Gun 3, doing the trope of like, oh my God, she's trans. I'm going to be sick everywhere. But then also you had like movies like The Color of Night, where there was a trans character in it who Bruce Willis fell in love with. Do you remember that? It's a fucking shite film. But like, I think you saw Bruce Willis as Willie in that film. Not quite recovered from that. It's like a Frankenstein where you're like, I really didn't need to see Robert De Niro's cock. I just didn't. But yeah, there were a lot of problematic films and portrayals of trans people in the media. And now you've got J.K. Rowling. She wrote this book, one of her fucking snipe novels or whatever the fuck they're called. And she had the baddie was a man who dressed up as women to kill women. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? She genuinely thinks that's what trans people do. They dress up as women to kill women. Like, there's something that's never ever fucking happened. The trans woman has never done that. And a trans woman doesn't dress up as a woman. A trans woman is a woman. And if you can't get that through your fucking thick head, then you don't know what feminism means. Do you remember the villain from Carry On Spying? No, I don't. I've seen reports on social media about a school in the Greater Manchester area where there was an LGBTQ IA and feminist books removed from school library. The librarian resigned. That is fucking disgraceful. It seems to me that MAGA morons are frightened of women's bodies. I think, yeah, they're just frightened of everything. Haven't they got an enlarged amygdala? Am I making that up? Is that something that we find across people who are right-wing? They're motivated by fear, whereas people on the left are more motivated by love. That's the balance. And that's why right-wing people and left-wing people can't get together. Because you're dealing with someone whose prime motivation is being scared of everything, scared of losing things, scared of having the TV robbed, scared of losing their partner because the partner finds someone else who's better and treats them nicer, scared of the immigrants coming from other countries, scared of trans women, scared of Boy Scouts, scared of fucking bombs dropping on their heads, scared of conspiracies, scared of lampposts feeling lonely without a rag attached to them. I don't know. They're just constantly scared. Whereas the other side of, we're motivated by empathy and love and tenderness and kindness and wanting to help and wanting society to be the best that it possibly can be. And it's pretty fucking incompatible. All these right-wing people going, you can't date left-wing women. Oh, you can't date left-wing women. No women want to go out with me because I'm right-wing. I'm like, yeah, God damn right. Because it's not just about who you vote for. It's about your moral stance on the fucking universe. And like, where you want humanity to go next. And it informs how you treat other human beings. If your prime motivation is fear, then if you're fucking drowning and someone comes to help you, you'll fucking push the person whose fucking head is above, you'll push the head under the water. You'll panic and push their head under the fucking water. You'll kill the people coming to fucking save you. You dickheads. In a blind fucking panic, which is what a lot of these right-wingers, Brexiters and UKippers and fucking fuckers, they're just running around in a blind panic, just smashing stuff up. Oh, fuck! Take that plant, take that crystal vase, get a fucking pit bull in a china shop. Grinder crashed. Ooh. Be right back. My mum asking me to rescue a spider out the bath now. Doesn't need rescuing, mate. Yeah, what was I going to say about Grindr? I want to start a new app called Ginger. JINJR, Ginger. And it's just for ginger people. It's bisexual. It's just any ginger people can go on there. But unfortunately, so far, it's just me and Ed Sheeran and Karen Gillan. That's it. It's just the three of us, which isn't great because I'm not a big fan of Ed Sheeran. He's like a little ginger hobbit who likes to sing songs. And I'm like, he keeps appearing in stuff. He was in Yesterday. I think he ruined the film. He was in Game of Thrones. I think he ruined Game of Thrones. That's when it really started going downhill. They have moral panics. Yeah. They're just running around in a blind panic all the time. Oh my God, let me here. You talk to someone who's right-wing and they're always in a panic. Always in a panic about something. Oh my God, have you heard? You're not allowed to call it a blackboard anymore, said people 25 years ago. Well, you can, but we just don't use them anymore because you get chalk dust all over yourself. So we use whiteboards now, which is literally white. So why would you call them a blackboard? But you can't call it that now, or you get called a racist. Like terrified of being called a racist. Here's a clever way of not being called a racist. Don't be racist. Just don't be racist. That works, doesn't it? Yeah, right? Right? Not just me. Don't be racist. Can't call it a blackboard anymore. Can't call it the black country. Can't call it black pudding. Can't use the word black. Can't buy black paint from B&Q anymore. You've got to call it not white paint. No, you don't. Don't talk bollocks. And this is the thing about these people, right? If there's nothing obvious for them to be scared of, they'll invent things to be scared of. They jump at shadows. They're like, oh my God, the EU's coming to bend our bananas. They'll straighten our bananas. I don't know which one it is, but oh my God, our bananas. They're coming from our marmalades. Ah! And you're like, fucking just chill, will you? Just chill. But they're coming from our marmalade. They're coming for our condoms. They're gonna stop children having swings. What? It's a genuine thing that was reported in the British newspaper. The EU is going to shut down British playgrounds because swings were dangerous. Something that never happened. I mentioned the other day, the metaphor the other day, not the other day. I mentioned the metaphor the other day, and not all men. A pack of Maltesers, one is poo. You're weary of the whole pack. Which one is poo? Add on. That's everyone when you're trans. Yeah, butterfly effect. You're fucking right. Not all men. Not all men. Yeah, but we get that all the time, don't we? Especially if I say anything fucking about older people. Jesus Christ. One of the few comments that we got on the Sunday roast yesterday was someone complaining about the fact that I had said the older generation overwhelmingly vote for XYZ, which they do. But I didn't have my little not all boomers fucking animation come up, so I was in trouble because you're not allowed to say that. You've got to say not all boomers, not all boomers, not all men are rapists, not all men are evil, not all men, not all presidents of the United States of America are fucking insane, not all this, not all that, not. And you're like, I've got you on a technicality because you said that a lot of people from a particular group do this particular thing, and I proved you wrong by saying not all of them. No, that's exactly what I said. Didn't say it was all men. Never said it was all men. I said 90% of all crime is committed by men. So then 10% of it isn't. So not all men commit crimes. Obviously, that's embedded in there. Older people tend to vote right wing. They do. Over 66%. But a lot of older people go, well, listen, I don't have to deal with this because I didn't vote for the right wing. I'm like, well, talk to your people who do. Obviously, you've got two friends and both of them voted for fucking Farage, voted for Brexit. Have a fucking word with you. But they won't because they don't want to upset the apple cart. They don't want to ruin their friendship. They'd rather have a go at me on social media and say, oh, not all boomers, Graham. I was there at this march against the leaving the EU. Do you know what would have been a better fucking use of your time, mate? Rather than going all the way to London and walking around like a twat with a fucking placard. Which I did quite a lot, so, But I like walking around like a twat with a placard. You could have talked to your mates, literally your friends who voted for fucking Brexit. Because I'm sure some of them did. None of my mates did. Because I'm younger. I'm not even young. I'm fucking way middle-aged now, But I'm going to be 50 in a few years' time, but... not all boomers, just 2/3 of them. Stranger Danger was with the biggest fears promoted by the government. Greg, yeah, it was nonsense. If someone was going to abuse you, it's generally someone you knew. It's going to be your scoutmaster or your local priest or your fucking nonce uncle or your stepfather or someone. It was someone that you knew. And we weren't told to watch out for that. We were told to watch out for the guy with chocolates and puppies and a fucking driving around in a van abducting children, which hardly ever fucking happens. When was the last child abducted in this country? Seriously, when was it? Abducted by a stranger, driving past with a fucking van full of chocolate and puppies. You should never mix chocolate and puppies for obvious reasons. But when did that ever happen? And this is the thing I talk about: people jumping at shadows. If you take away all the reason for these people to be fearful of anything, they'll invent stuff. They'll be terrified. They'll go into the greengrocers and they'll be like, "Oh my god, the bananas are straight. They're too straight. I can't eat a straight banana. It's got to be bendy." So the greengrocer's like, "Oh fuck, I better get some bendy fucking bananas because they're not massively fucking bendy. These people aren't going to buy them. They're running out, pulling their hair out, rendering tearing their clothes off. They're fucking terrified. It's like in the 70s where they showed The Exorcist and people were freaking out in the audience. Okay, well, I'll get some bendy bananas. So next week they turn up. All the bananas are super fucking bendy. They're like fucking new bend. They're like that. Do you know what I mean? And those people, oh, what's wrong now? Oh, they're too bendy. What? You wanted bendy bananas? No, I want straight bananas. Oh, well, you make up your fucking mind. Jesus Christ. Funny how it's not all men or not all boomers and yet not all trans people. Yeah, good point. Very good point. Gallifreyan, man. Especially when you've got some cunt like J.K. Rowling. I'm going to drop the C-bomb when I describe her because she is a fucking cunt. Saying, "Oh, we can't presume innocence of all groups." Presume innocence, presumption of innocence. That's the thing that underlines jury service in this country is like you presume they're innocent until you can prove them guilty. That's the thing that we have in courts. But J.K. Rowling doesn't want anything to do with that. She wants to declare all trans people guilty of existing. How dare they? Well, trans women, not trans men. We always forget about trans men, don't they? Don't they always forget about trans men? It's funny that, isn't it? Almost as though they don't see trans men as a threat. Whereas if I was I really wish that more trans men would go into women's sports and just be a man. You know, fucking run without a top on because they've had top surgery and they've got fucking hairy chests and big fucking beards, big fuck off guns. You know, just fucking beat all the women. Just, you know, beat them all. And they're like, but you said that you had to be in the category of the sex you were when you were born. So I am. Right, all got to do parenting while trying not to puke. Yeah, try not to puke. We're going to wrap up in a moment because it is 5 to 11. You've had a bumper show today. This is cool. Back in the saddle. But I do need to go and have a look at this first folio of Shakespeare, so I have to go in a minute. Oh, good job! They've got a picture of the family. The family. In case you forgot what the family looked like, because it's really important that you know the family. The family. We need the family to be in everything all the time. Here they are. Look at the family. Look at them. They have an extra special day. I made a joke there. We made a joke. Vile betrayal of grooming gang victims. A survivor of a Rochdale grooming gang has branded Keir Starmer's account of her case vile and accused him of using it to help his career. And yeah, it's great. Absolutely fucking horrible story there on the front cover of the Express. But half the newspaper cover there is taken up by the royal family for some fucking reason. Yeah, I don't know the ins and outs of this particular grooming gang case, but we know that there's at least one person who was, had horrible things done to her, and no doubt about that, but is also massively promoted by the right wing and by the refuck lot to fuel Islamophobia. And I'll say again, if someone abuses you, it's way more likely to be someone that you know. And therefore, if you're white, it's probably going to be someone who is white abusing you. Why aren't they like this about schools, about private schools that allowed abusers to roam wild for fucking decades, abusing little boys and little girls, and they got away with it, pretty much, died of old age, and it turns out that the school covered it up, and people still send their kids to those same fucking schools. The Ampleforth, James O'Brien went to the kids in his class, in his school, were raped by their fucking PE teacher, and yet that the school wasn't shut down. It's a private fucking enterprise, you know. If it was a restaurant, if it was a kids' activity centre, and one of the people there was literally raping the children, pretty sure it'll get shut down. Pretty sure. But when it's a school, when it's a private school, and future prime ministers go there, and past prime ministers have gone there, but oh well, you know, we can't get rid of it. But they never go after that. They never go after the grooming gangs that are private schools. Go after people who are, not white, because then, a bit of racism. We've got the 1 billion bet and bonanza, which I don't care about. We've got Unhinged, the cover of the Mirror here on the left. Trump fires F word. God, he's so fucking ugly. Jesus Christ, he's got a face like a puckered minge. Right, we're going to go over to the Financial Times now. We've got Trump. Oh God, yoga chair. What the fuck? Why would I want yoga? I don't even like yoga. Go away. Why would it give me yoga adverts? What the fuck have I done to get a fucking yoga advert? Oh my God. Anyway, as protest mounts, is AI the new fracking? Yes. The virtue of forgiveness is losing its value. By the way, when we talk about AI, I hear that OpenAI announced. Is it OpenAI? Is it? No, it was Copilot are saying it's for entertainment purposes only. That's happened. So AI, which is the friendly little robot that gets everything wrong. Yeah, don't use it for any actual practical applications. It's for entertainment use only. The thing that's going to come and take everyone's job, which is not. It's for entertainment use only. True story. I like spiders, says One Pain. That does not come as a surprise to me, my friend. It does not come to any surprise to me whatsoever. Yoga and Twister. Puckered minge. Does though, doesn't he? Anyway, we've got the Trump renews Iran threat in bid to reopen Hormuz Strait, power plants and bridges in US sites, ultimatum after F-15 airman rescued. East of Prez, Tehran residents seek solace in ritual and refuge from daily bombardment. We've got the briefing here above me, which you can't probably read because the quality, the resolution is very low. Starmer woos Anthropic amid White House row. The government has sought to tempt the 380 billion AI startup to widen its presence in the UK. Please don't. North Sea warning. More than 65 leading scientists have warned against new oil and gas drilling. Well, yeah, clearly, because it's fucking demented. US group electrifies UK. Atlanta-based Corpay, a $20 billion corporate payments group, has targeted Britain to accelerate the truck industry's slow electric transition. Ooh, okay, so we're getting electric trucks. I like that. AFD loosens MAGA ties. The far-right alternative Germany has sought to distance itself from Donald Trump. My God. Donald Trump is too Trumpy for the fucking AFD. Obesity market, huge. See what they've done there. Ukraine hits Russian oil. Good. Insurers seek AI cover. Eyes on economic data. AI demand drives Hong Kong listing to outstrip Nasdaq's with $13 billion haul. Chinese AI and technology companies have driven Hong Kong's listings to a 5-year high as investor demand for the sector continues to surge. And then we've got Washington bets big on rookie rare earth miners. Sorry, I thought I had my pointer on there then. And I don't have my pointer up. Over here, this is the story over there. I like the FT because there's no pictures of the fucking Royals. I'm so sick of seeing them. I'm sick of seeing their stupid fucking gormless faces. You know, I was never an anti-royalist until I had to look at their stupid faces every fucking day. It was bad enough. You got the Queen on every fucking banknote. I need to look at the Queen all the time. It's all right. I've got contactless now. The joys of fucking contactless. Then I have to look at the fucking Royals. Look at them. Look at the Royals. Look at the Royals, everyone. Look at them. Just look at them. Why? Because you got to look at them. Why? Tell me why. Mike Dick says, yes, Mike. But it's possible. It requires immense time and logistical planning. You must use cars, ferries, trains, and buses to cross oceans and borders. Graham Hughes was the first to do it. Oh, wow. I just asked Gemini AI if it's possible to visit every country in the world without using a plane. Hey, Graham Hughes was the first to do it. I'm glad it got it right. Wow. AI got something right for a change. That is cool. It is possible. I proved it was possible because I fucking did it. But the sad thing is, Mike, nobody cares. Nobody fucking... Imagine doing that and then no, it's like going to the moon and then people come back and they're like, what did you do? I went to the moon. Oh, okay. Could you make us a brew? I think it's because people just don't know what to say, to be fair. Like, I always talk about this time when I posted a picture of me in a big cannibal cooking pot in Vanuatu being attacked by cannibals and like defending myself with a spear. And it was all staged. It was all set up. Like, it was just a joke. But I put it on Facebook and it got about 2 likes and one of them was my mum. And then on the same day, my cousin Leo, he said, I'm going to IKEA to buy some light bulbs. I'll probably come back with a new kitchen or something, like a joke like that. Like 500 fucking likes and like 19,000 shares. And I was like, what the fuck, Leo? And he went, Graham, what I put was relatable because we all go to IKEA and go in for a light bulb and come out with a bunch of stuff that we don't need. Whereas no one can relate to being chased by cannibals and put in a big pot in Vanuatu. I was like, oh yeah, okay, fair enough. Mike says I care. Oh, Mike. Oh, you sweetie. Anyway, Mike, while you watch and listen, mate, we were talking yesterday about doing new shows on here, and I do want to have a chat with you about this, so I'll probably call you after the show. But I want to move away a bit more from politics on this. And I know it's called Politics Social. We might have to think about that. We might have to reconsider it. But I want to talk about Lego. I want to talk about movies. I want to talk about music. I want to talk about other shit. You know, books that I like. Book of the week. Recommendations. I've got a lot more to talk about, especially travel. Yeah, I've got a lot more to talk about than politics. And the politics, it's getting me down. I know it's getting a lot of our audience down. People aren't watching anymore because it's just a bit too much, everything that's going on at the moment. And I feel like I'm just repeating myself. It's like Groundhog Day every fucking day. I want some new content where I'm not just going, have you heard what Trump's done? He's a twat, isn't he? So yeah, I think doing like a Lego show would be fucking awesome or something like that. Where we just play with Lego. Who's our friend? Who's our friend who does all the Lego stuff? That's really cool. We like the Lego. We like the Lego stuff. Hang on a sec. What's wrong with me today? I could. Emma Kennedy. That's it. Just like, trying to remember the people we hang out with. Emma Kennedy. She's way into her Lego. We should definitely do a Lego and Lego with Emma and Mike. That'd be cool. Graham, there's something to build on. It's very good. The Graham Hughes experience. Oh God, I can't call it that. I can't call it that, Mike. Although that's a really good title, but I can't because of the demonic fucking cue ball guy. What's his name? Joe Rogan. But yeah, May Whitehouse experience. Maybe I could run it like a little bit like the May Whitehouse experience and have a massive fucking fan behind me with a light going through it because it was the early 90s and that's all we knew. Everything was a big, massive fan with a light shining through it. I just try and do a positive stream at least once a week, Graham. Could call it What Went Right. Yeah. Well, I did a positive stream yesterday about them going to the moon. Going around the moon, which is fucking incredible. Yeah, that's good shit. That's some good shit that we're doing. Most of my subscribe channels are Lego based. Graham Gaming channel. Yeah. I was playing Mario Kart yesterday and I was like, I don't play video games that much because I don't get anything else done. But if I was streaming at the same time, then I could technically say, well, I'm earning money, while streaming. What about a second channel for Lego and everything? George only. The problem is, George, my wonderful friend, you need to hit a bunch of milestones in order to be able to do unlimited live shows like what I can on this channel. This channel's been around for 20 years now, so there's a lot of stuff on it. You've got to make so many videos, you've got to have so many views, you've got to have so many subscribers. I think it's like 1,000 subscribers or something like that. So setting up another channel isn't as easy as you might think, because I can't do the live stuff. I have to do pre-records. I'm doing pre-records on another channel. That requires you really to do a pre-record every single day for that channel to build up the audience on it. I think I've tried it a little bit, but it doesn't really go anywhere. So having a second channel, and then you've got the problem that YouTube is a twat, right? So I know for a fact that if I try and do another channel, then every time I switch between channels, I've got to redo all my fucking settings and re-log in as a different fucking channel. And I've got to remember to change the channel that this is attached to. So I can't just sit down in front of OBS and press, start broadcast or start streaming and it starts. I can't, I'd have to go into the settings each time and change it, which is fine. I'm not saying that that's beyond my capabilities, but I know for a fact that I will fuck it up a few fucking times. There's no doubt about it. And I'll be like, yes, I'm doing a show on Graham Travels tomorrow and it's 8 o'clock. And then everyone's sitting there on Graham's Travels waiting for the show to start. And it turns up on Graham Politics. And then once I've started, I'm like, I don't really want to stop this and then start again. So there's a lot of factors in it. I think I'm just better off just having it all on one channel. Just having one travel. Bricks and Morticians. We build Lego embalming machines. That sounds good. I like that. Space 1999 had a great moon base. You did an overdose of ADH pills later. That's what's wrong. Oh dear. I found the old video of me, old Staffy Nightmare, when she was a pup on my former channel. 616 Psycho, lol. You have the most amazing setup there. But that 616, first of all, isn't that the number of the beast, the real number of the beast? But also, that's not how you spell psycho. I should have gone to a Lego show on the weekend, but my back gave out. There's a lot of love for Lego here. There's a lot of love for Lego. Lego here. My mum watches Emma Kennedy regularly. She's good. On that lovely note, take care, everyone. Remember, Witchy is going live at 6 p.m. tonight. Okay, cool. Okay, come on. If you want to do a pop culture show, Graham, we would have a hoot. Yeah, pop culture as well. Anyway, let's have a think about it, because honestly, I'm fucking exhausted, and I'm sure a lot of you are as well. Talking about this, and like I'm happy to talk. You know, I'm always happy to talk. I'm always happy to have a chat, have a conversation, and I'll continue to do Morning Brew for the foreseeable, because it sets me up for the day, and obviously allows me to have a chat with friends to get started, which is a nice way to start any day. But yeah, I genuinely feel like this channel needs to move a little bit away from politics, because it is getting fucking far too samey. I've been doing this for 3 years now, and you know, we could go, oh well, we've got Geoscope, which is different from the American show. I forgot his fucking name. Stateside, which is different from Stateside, which is different from the Morning Brew, which is different. But it's not anymore. It's not, because everything we talk about on Geoscope has got something to do with America now. It's not separated. It's not like, oh, we can go, oh, well, this happened in this country. It's like, well, this happened in this country because fucking America started bombing it, or America did this, or America did that. So yeah, I think Trump has ruined a lot of things around the world, not least this channel's potential. Let's say potential. So yeah, I think I'm going to be doing that over the next few weeks. So look out for some changes on the scheduling. A non-political show would be great, says Harry Flashman. Well, we do that with the Anything But Politics show, the Rabbit Hole with me and Rach on Wednesdays, and we'll continue to do that. But yeah, I like having specific shows about a specific topic that we talk about, or we do. Graham, don't brick it. It's a good idea. Hey. Well, you know, I made my Lego globe, which is in the background there, which was a lot of fun. But it's just, Lego's really expensive, so maybe I'll just watch while Mike fucking puts Lego together. I'd love to see Graham Build's return, says Gallifreyan Man. Yeah. But it will be good. It will be good. But it's just getting that balance, isn't it? One of the reasons why I can get this channel to sort of work just about is because it doesn't cost me anything to make these streams. I don't have to buy any props. I don't have to go somewhere. I don't have to go to a pub. I don't have to go to a cinema. I don't have to go and watch a movie. I can just sit down and talk to you for free, and no one's charging me to do this. It's not costing me any money. As soon as it does start costing me money, that impacts the amount that I can use from the super chats that come in. So yeah, it's all about keeping the cost down, really. Meanwhile, you've got these manosphere twats who go and live in these apartments. It's 20,000 fucking pounds a month rent, and it's all paid for by the subscribers. Maybe I should start selling protein bars and fucking health supplements. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Only joking. Another brick in the wall. Very good. There's a new set based on the spaceship that's going around the moon. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. That's very cool. Check out the online CN Tower Lego in the CN Tower. It's massive. I've seen that. I've seen it. I've been to the CN Tower. I think I've seen that. Graham, you built up a good community. Oh, thank you. Thank you. But yeah, I think a lot of you agree that we can sort of pivot a little bit away from politics, because I think you all agree with me on the whole fact of this. It's repetitive and depressing. So let's talk about some fun stuff. Let's talk about cool shit. Let's talk about fucking theme parks and roller coasters, and let's talk about travel. Let's talk about fucking countries and places to go and how awesome they are. Although I do really need to talk to Joris about how to be a white person, talking about countries and not being a twat about it. Because I see these clips of these influencers traveling around the Caribbean going, this place is a fucking shithole. And I'm like, fuck off. But yes, price of Lego will go up due to Trump's oil wars. No one can afford plastic bricks anymore. Yeah, he ruins everything. Trump ruins everything. He poisons everything. Anyway, so thanks very much for joining me this morning. Thanks for the super chats. That's very kind of you. I'll be back tonight, I think. I haven't organised anything yet, but we should be back on normal schedule. So I should be doing an episode of Stateside tonight. But so watch out for that. It might happen, might not. I don't know. Might do a completely different show with Mike. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. But I'm going off to go and see a copy of Shakespeare's First Folio. Because I'm fucking cool like that. And then I'm gonna have a nice cup of coffee with Catherine in town, and then get back, and I don't know, kids will still have their fucking heads stuck in their tablets, probably. With all the focus being on the US, it's even more important to keep an eye on national events rather than global. This is due to the opportunity to hide bad news behind it, says Captain Coconut. Yes, I couldn't agree more. Okay, so on that bombshell, I just want to say, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, well, if you are subscribed, give us a like. Give us a like on the way out. Thank you very much. It's that way around, isn't it? And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It allows you to join the chat there, but also hit the bell notification icon, which is awesome. And also, just support the channel ongoing. Just a couple of quid each month. Join the channel, and you get a lovely little rose after your name, which is really, really cool. So if you want, like, Ice Boo there has got a rose after their name. If you want a rose after your name, just join the channel, and you get a rose, and you should get your name in the credits when I update them. Okay, so until next time, thank you so much for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.